out and then hand it over to Steve at the end of the meeting. I would like to take this opportunity to publicly thank the following: Mrs Rita Mellors for her hard work in researching and highlighting the admission of military medals on the War Memorial, to Bombardier J. Walker and Lance Corporal Norman Butcher, killed in action 1916 and 1970 respectively. Also, to thank Crown History Group and its chairman, Colin Bailey, for their support to David Marisol in our research for provenance to prove these brave men did in fact win the military medal. Last but not least, to thank Crown Parish Council for their part in paying for the awards, to be put on the memorial just in time for the 100 years end of the First World War. Better late than never. Thank you.
Thank you.
I've got Mrs. Yeah.
Right, I'd like to make two comments. The first one is about the notice of this meeting that was put on the internet. Code of conduct. Members of the public are reminded, and then it goes on. Isn't there an important two words missing from that? And councillors, because as that reads, that is intimidatory to us as the public.
Where are we looking at, Mrs.
Code of conduct.
Right, yep.
Yours reads different to ours. Yours says members of the public and councillors. Ours does not.
Right, we'll have a look at that then on the internet.
Right. My second comment is, as chairman, you are supposed to take anything that requires action forward and put it in your chair's report. You haven't been doing that. There are many things that come up that need some kind of action, regardless of what it is, and you're not bringing them up at the chair's report, so that the other councillors who do not attend this part of the meeting can hear what has been said.
Is that part of my
It does say on item 9, chair's report and parish forum actions.
So that was 7.
Yeah. No, it's just I've just taken the advice from the clerk, and he said that it doesn't, because we don't have these meetings minuted, it doesn't have to be on the.
You're supposed to take the things forward from this meeting and put them into your report, so that all the other councillors know what we are concerned about, and you can act upon them if necessary. If you don't do that, then the councillors who are not at this part of the meeting know nothing about what we are concerned about. And so you need to do that, and it was always done before.
Right, well, I'll have a look at that and I'll see what I can do for you.
And it does say parish forum actions on that agenda item.
At last month's meeting there was an application by Clown Roadrunners to fund a defibrillator, which very, very quickly got put into exempt.
Exactly.
Along with 11.4, which was an application for funding. Now the first point is really, why was the Clown Roadrunners application put into referred when it was a simple offer to fund a defibrillator that could have been discussed in an open meeting? And secondly, why does the council itself deem it necessary to fund one outside in these times of austerity when you've got £1,500 offered to you in your lap? I'm asking the chair, please.
Well, I can only go on what the council actually passed at the meeting. They did discuss it. I had no part in that discussion. I just sat and listened. I have got my own feelings regarding that, but obviously it's the council that have passed this.
Can I say something?
Which?
Can I ask just one point,
Which
please?
I can say, I've got
Councillor?
my own feelings on this.
Okay.
But obviously as a parish council, that's what they decided to pass.
It was moved by Councillor Connaughton and seconded by Councillor Patterton that the council pay for 2 defibs. Can I ask when these might be going up? Because within 72 hours, had you accepted the Clown Roadrunners funding, you could have had one outside here.
That's up to Steve, I think you've looked
I'm
at
in the
that.
process of getting quotes now from several suppliers.
I thought we were
Okay.
going to do it next year. It's in our budget to put it up. It's in next year's
They've
budget.
agreed to take it out this year's. That's what we're resolved.
That is exactly the type of thing that should have been put in the chair's report.
Well, we
Yeah, but
haven't
that's
got
the
it
same
to
time,
report
so
as yet,
I've got
because
to
we
get more
haven't.
than
You should have put the question from this gentleman into the chair's report last month and discussed it in open council.
Yes,
Chair, can we, when we've got a question for somebody on the floor, can we not have people shouting out? Can we just have, have it orderly and, this gentleman's having a conversation with yourself. Can we keep it at that, please?
You've just interrupted.
No, I put my hand up and Chairman said,
Sorry, Ross, if you'd like to...
Yeah, I actually raised my concerns that we moved the Roadrunners agenda item into exempt. I had a look to see, I asked for advice if it was an exempt item. We're still waiting for clarification on that. I've sought my own clarification and it seems that it is not an exempt item. So on that basis, I think we should revisit that item. It's been moved unlawfully into an exempt meeting.
Well, we can do it that, Ross, is have a look at it at the next meeting. We cannot do it today.
Well, can we not do a substantive motion on that?
No, we've
Why not?
actually, it has been visitors and there's a standing order, so we're not allowed to look at it for 6 months.
You can if no
However-
evidence comes up. This is no evidence.
However, we can't do it today, we'd have to look at it tomorrow, at the next meeting.
I also believe that Clown Roadrunners has sent a request explaining their situation and their views on the meeting.
Ross, it's not your place to be talking now. It is
I can
actually.
talk.
No,
I am
it's
a
the-
member of the public. This isn't a council
No,
meeting
you are a
and I
you are
will
a
continue
councillor.
to talk.
You are a
I will
councillor.
continue.
You are a- Excuse me,
will
Ross, you're a
continue.
councillor and I've got people
I
here that
will
might need
continue
questions.
what I'm going to
Is there
say.
anybody else in the
Clown
public that needs
Roadrunners
to
have
be
sent a
here?
letter in stating their
Thank you.
dismay at their...
Excuse
way they
me,
were
Ross,
treated.
I am chairing of this council and I'm sorry,
This is
but
not
this
a
is a
council
public
meeting. This is a
forum.
public meeting.
You are sat here as a councillor.
I'm sat
You
here
are
as a
not
member
sat,
of the
you are not,
public.
I'm sorry.
On top of that,
Can
maybe
I-
you can explain to the public why you're eating into their time.
Yeah.
Well, if you're
The
quiet,
public
am I
have got
right?
10 minutes. Can you ask why the... Thank you.
Chair, in 2014 February, Councillor Reid chaired a meeting in the presence of Denise Cameron. It was the first meeting of the Hickingwood Lane allotment orders, which the council were now running. Councillor Reid told us that the £500 a year rent, what he collected on our behalf, would be used solely for the allotment orders. So if your master's right, we've got 2,500 in the pot now, plus the 250 what we've got from the windmill farm, that's 2,700. And up to June, I think we'd had £12.50 out of the pot for a lock because it had been tampered with. Now then in July, I was on the allotment and this guy came to me and said, I've got the contract for refurbishing all these neglected allotments. I said, oh, that's good. He says, and I'm doing it for no. I said, oh, that's even better. I looked at the top of the road and there's JCBs and digger trucks. To my knowledge, they have 25 working days on the site. And to be honest, he said he's a landscape gardener. My personal opinion is, I don't think he is. Because Councillor Reid said one of the things he wanted us to do was, right at the end where Colin used to have his pigs, he was going to have a turnaround circle. And he levelled it, put some membrane down and put gravel on top. Within 2 weeks, there's grass growing through it. I've got a new neighbour. He told me his wife drove on the turnaround and the car began to sink. Now I'm very pleased that you've managed to get. I assume that you take bids, don't you? You don't just give it to the first person who's doing the work. I assume that someone's had to pay for this machinery. Now then,
Do you want me to
£2,750. I mean, a JCB, 25 days. They're not going to be a fiver a day from HSS, are they?
Would you like Steve just to clarify what?
I would have asked Steve on Wednesday, but I'm going away tomorrow, so I can't go to the meeting. I just hope, Steve, that on Wednesday you can give a balance sheet to lads, because I'm forewarning you, you'll get some ammo.
Okay, yeah.
What meeting are you having on Wednesday?
Rick Lammer told us.
All right.
Yes, Rose.
I'm disgusted with the council. Why haven't we got poppies on the lamppost like every other village?
Oh, this is coming up on the meeting tonight, Rose.
Because I think I've been from Worksop all the way through into Clown. There's poppies. I've come from Sheffield, get as far as Cemetery, not one poppy.
No, we've
Get
got
into Clown, and
we've
I
got
think
some that we
we're
had last year, and we're obviously getting some more. That's supposed. We are looking at on the agenda tonight for these poppies.
Right. And the other one is we're getting a little bit fed up with the footballers. Going on the football field late at night, kicking the ball over the green fence, knocking on old people's doors. They don't get up off the chairs because they've had the medication. I mean, they don't interfere with me, but they asking me. One lady, she's 90 odd, she can't, well, she'll help and everything. Then there's Tommy Cornwall, he takes his medication, he's down, and they're kicking the ball over the green fence and come in every 20 minutes, Karen, and it's getting beyond the joke now. And I says to one of the young lads, I says, we're not being funny, we don't want you to stop playing football, but why don't you go over the other side? But they won't just go over the other side.
Why won't we go over the side?
Because there's all nettles and they can't get the ball if it goes.
Not kept in.
Yeah, nettles, bushes, but there is you see, they make sure that the ball goes into the gardens, not on the waste rubble, where we can't keep it clean, you know. But something has got to be.
Clown comments.
No, it's nothing no.
No, it's just boys going on.
I mean, it's when they come from school or then what's not working, what's left school. 13, 14-year-olds. They're not the young.
Okay.
No. But since I say we have football matches and it's lovely to watch them. Proper footballers don't kick it over the fence. So why are they being funny by kicking it over green fence? But no, I spoke to one lad, I says it's not fair. I says, would you like people to go and knock on your grandma's door every 20 minutes?
Is it because it's late, Rose, or is it because it's just annoying anyway at any time?
Any time, because it's not so bad. Well, I mean, I don't mind them being on, but it's the way they kick it that high and it goes over the green fence.
Yeah.
So something has got to be
Right, we'll have to have a look, Rose, but we can't actually police it. I think the gates, Steve says the gates are open until 6.
Well, I'm not
We
bothered
were during
about
the
it.
summer holidays.
Yeah, I think
That's
I'm
why
not-
the commissioners raised
I'm not bothered about the gates being
About
open,
access.
but if you could get through,
They have
it.
This is we're during summer holidays.
Right, I'd like to close the council forum now. It is now 4:02. We've had 15 minutes, and we will be moving into council session in. Thank you.
Chinese.
Right, it's now 6:45. I'd like to welcome everybody to the October meeting of the Parish Council. I would also like to remind the public that there is no participation in this meeting and they're here for listening only. Thank you. I'd like to start with item 1 on the agenda. Apologies for absence.
I've had to chair Councillor Buxton, Councillor Reid, but Councillor Reid may join us. I'm not sure yet.
Agenda 2, confirmation that the attendance register has been signed.
Yeah.
Notification, item agenda 3, declarations of pecuniary interest.
I'd like to know, there's an item in the agenda under Clown History Society. I'd like to know if this council will give me a dispensation to speak and not to vote. So when the item comes up about Clown History Society at the back, will you give me a dispensation, yes or no?
It's on item 3 at minute, Chair.
Yeah. Item 4 on the agenda.
That's the point that Councillor Bailey.
Notification of dispensation. Notification of dispensations. Do you allow Councillor Bailey to?
You've granted that previously, so if you're happy to.
We're supposed to do that at the time it comes up, aren't we?
No, it's agenda item 4.
Just to give advance notification that.
Yeah, we've done it before.
Yeah, we've granted it before.
Okay.
So do I get a dispensation to speak and vote, or just to speak?
Just to speak, Councillor Bailey.
That's fine.
Thank you.
No, I want to ask if we can have a dispensation to vote as well.
You need to make a decision.
Yeah.
Well, do you need to make a decision on that? Would you like him to vote as well on the Clown history?
Well, I don't think it's in his best interest.
No, I didn't
I
vote
don't
when it
either.
comes to school, did I? So I think if we have consensus, that'd be good.
Yeah,
I don't think it's in his best interest.
Yeah.
I'm asking if I can speak and vote, or
I don't
can
think you
speak and
speak.
not vote. Yeah.
I think last
Yeah.
time we did speak.
I don't mind you
not
speaking
vote.
at all,
Yeah.
but my advice would be for you not to vote.
I'll take your, so I can speak but not vote.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's
Well,
commensurate with what you've had in the past.
yeah.
Yeah. They're suggesting that you can speak and not vote. We agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to take a vote on
So
that.
can I take a vote on that? All in favour? All against? All against?
And I haven't voted.
No, that'll be no to Donna.
Item 5 on the agenda, confirmation signing of the minutes of the council meeting held on the 17th of September.
Move.
I've got some queries. Agenda item 87/18,
What page is that on, Ross, please?
215.
It's 718.
718, top of the page. We suspended standing orders there. We took a vote on that. That is recorded. We took a vote to suspend standing orders on that item. We all voted on it. We suspended standing orders because we wanted to know the date of the meeting.
22nd. Yeah.
Yeah.
Put that in, yeah.
Also, agenda item 1113, page 8 of 15.
Which one, sorry?
1113, on that page.
Yeah.
Carl Reid proposed 3 times that we put this item into exempt. Gwyneth Buxton and the chair decided it had been moved to exempt and stated that. No vote was taken to put it in an exempt. My comments, I have to be noted, I thought this was an illegal exempt item and I would seek advice. I think you put my comments further along in the meeting onto 2 cents.
Just notice the 18.
11.3. Download.
11.3.
Yeah.
Lord rules.
Shall we put those in minutes, please?
They'll be your minutes. It's
Yeah. Well, that's what happened.
What
Tell
are
you
we
again.
putting in?
What are we putting in?
Carl Reid proposed 3 times that the item gets moved to exempt. This is what happened. If I don't want to put it in, I'll take a vote on it, but it's up to you.
Yeah, okay, we don't need that amount of detail.
It's in that amount of detail and that's the other motion what's been moved, so we need it on here, please. I'm
Yeah,
not arguing
we've got
with Terry, it's
anything
my
about
query, I'm bringing a query. If you let me finish, I'll explain it to you. Thank you. Gwyneth Buxton and the chair decided it had been moved into exempt. There's no note of that in these minutes. Also, my comments, which I asked to be noted, were not noted. But the comments are noted further on in the meeting. What we're saying didn't happen.
What you're saying, you want your comments noted on that particular item?
We
Side of it.
and that item.
Yeah, I'm saying you want them on side of it.
Yes, I want my comments where they're supposed to be, at 11.3.
Yeah.
I also
Yeah, I think so
wanted
anyway.
recording that Carl Reid proposed 3 times to put this item in exempt. Gwyneth Buxton and the chair decided to put it in exempt. There was no vote taken.
There was.
It wasn't, it's not there.
Why does it say it was moved by Councillor Oxford?
Where does it say it was
by
moved?
Councillor Cotton,
Councillor
that agenda items 11.3 and 11.4 are moved to confidential business?
Why ain't that on 11.3? So 11.3, 11.3. Moved by Councillor Oxford. It wasn't moved by Councillor Oxford, it was moved by Councillor Reid.
Well, we put it down as the chair, haven't we?
So
And the
it's
clerk
Councillor
put it
Reid.
down as the chair.
I think I actually put it. Yeah, I'm fine.
There was no vote taken.
Well, there is, it says agreed 4, 10.
No, that's what I'm
abstained,
saying, that's
against
an
2.
error in the minutes, there was no vote taken.
It isn't.
It is.
But it's there.
These are the minutes to be approved. That's what this is about. This is the agenda item, to see if they're approved. You know that. You're a senior councillor, you know what's going on. There was no, on agenda item 11.3, there was no vote taken to
I
move it
think
to
there was a
exempt.
vote, I'm sure.
Well, there must have been said agreed 4, 10 for and 2 against.
You voted again, eh?
I voted on 10.4 against that. There was no vote taken on 11.3.
Well, it says it here, it was.
That's what I'm saying.
10
You're wrong.
agreed and 2 against.
Well, there's only you who
So what
said
do
the
you
vote.
questioning the clerks?
No, I'm not questioning the clerk. You said I'm questioning the clerk.
No, I said I did.
No,
Because
I'm questioning the minutes. I think the minutes aren't accurate. I don't think there was a vote taken on 11.3.
so you're saying the clerks have made a mistake?
No, I'm saying the minutes are wrong. You're saying Mark Clark's made a mistake. I'm
No,
saying the
not
minutes
sa-
are
I'm
wrong.
not saying that.
Well, there must have been a vote because it's
There was a vote.
No, there was not a vote.
Yes, Councillor.
I'll propose that the minutes stay as they are.
Is that what you're proposing? Would you take a vote
The
on that?
motion was to move them to confidential, and that was the decision. And that's what I captured.
Yeah.
There was no vote taken
There must have been a vote as it wouldn't have gone through. It's 10 for and 2 against.
for 11.4.
Or 11-3.
11.3, there was no vote taken.
We wouldn't have voted on that.
You didn't?
Go on, Councillor
I propose that.
Councillor Connors proposed that the meeting stand as they are. All in favour?
Hang on a bit, we need a second.
Oh, seconded, sorry. Tony seconded it. All in favour?
I am finished, yeah. Is that separate as well, that
We're
last,
not moving on,
right?
just that little bit.
That's the little bit. So we're voting that 11.3 is
So all in
correct.
favour? All against? Okay.
The 9418. Page 1215. Sorry, Councillor Walker said I was unhappy with the application for the 137 funded made by St John's Ambulance relating to personal defibrillator had been moved to confidential. I apologise, that's correct. That's thought that was my comments wanted. Yeah, that's that.
Right, can we...
No, sorry, I'm finished. 2 seconds, please. It's about 3. Councillor Oxspring, David, Councillor Oxspring.
Whereabouts are we?
He's not in the minutes at all. Made an official complaint, supported by Carl Reid, that a member of the public had threatened him.
It's not in the minutes, is it? No.
That needs put in minutes.
You don't have to, or you can, it's entirely yourself.
Yeah, I want it.
Well, you want it. The council might not want it. Well, Ross has proposed it, I'll second it then.
So that's where it's not got an item agenda, is it? Nope.
So what am I capturing then? Sorry, Councillor Walker.
That Councillor David Oxspring made an official complaint, was supported by Carl Reid, a member of the public had threatened him.
Excuse me. Information.
What was the chair?
He made an official complaint to whom?
You were there.
I know.
Clerk.
To whom?
To the clerk.
To the
Well,
clerk.
yes.
Not to the chair.
No.
No, to the clerk.
Yeah.
So he's saying Carl and somebody made an official objection
No, it
to the
said
clerk.
supported. It said supported by Carl Reid. You were there, Terry.
Made an objection to the clerk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, does the clerk remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was an objection to the clerk. It
Not
wasn't,
to me.
in a sense, part of the meeting.
No.
It happened in meeting.
No.
You said minutes of a meeting. So, what, we're saying we're not putting that in?
No, the meeting
It
had
happened.
that meeting had actually finished.
I was at the meeting.
The meeting had actually finished.
We've moved into confidential. Well, it's up
Yeah,
to you. If
that-
you don't want to
the
copy
pub-
it, I'll
yeah,
put
the
a
public
complaint
meeting
in
had actually
anyway.
finished. So,
So we're not putting this in.
no.
I don't know, you're going to have to put it to
I
the
propose
council.
that we put that in.
And I'll second it.
Right, all in favour of putting that in? Nobody else? All against? No. Okay. Abstain? Right, can I now move
No,
to
no,
this?
no.
Yes, you can
I
do
think
what you like,
I'm
Chair. You're in
starting to
charge.
move on now.
No, I'm done.
No, just keep everybody waiting.
I'm not. I've
Right.
discussed this.
One more then,
No,
Ross,
it's
and
just
then
one
I'll
more. The minutes aren't, I don't believe the minutes are correct. It's a legal document once it's signed, you can't alter it. Contractual agreements for the design and supply of Wi-Fi CCTV system.
Is this in confidential?
It is.
Well then,
it's
find
minute.
that,
The minutes aren't correct. We're going to... as stated, can I continue, Steve? Or...
Depends what you're going to say. I
You
don't
don't
know.
have to say.
So I know what you're going to say, I don't know if it's
You ask the chair.
confidential or it'll prejudice the
You
council.
ask, you ask the chair, not
I asked-
the clerk.
yes.
The chairs.
Can I continue?
Yes.
Or
Depends
should
on
I?
what you're going to say.
You still think it's not going to break no confidentiality, no GDPR, nothing?
Okay.
I made a comment that before we install CCTV, we have to look back into the minutes, because there's a minute in agenda item stating that we wasn't going to go ahead with any CCTV system until we got advice about the effectiveness of it and if it actually brought crime down. We're going to take proper advice off a specialist where we were situated in town. We seem to have forgot that minute. I brought it up at confidential, and it's not in.
Where's that minute?
I don't know the minute
What minute
referring
would
to.
it
It
be?
certainly doesn't talk about.
There is a minute of it.
Something that we voted
Have you
on.
got
Yes,
a
something
minute?
what we voted on.
All I
A
can
minute,
say
agenda
is
item in a minute.
you've discussed it as part of your annual budget meeting.
Yeah.
You've made financial budgetary commitments in the 2018-19
Yeah.
budget. And all I'm doing is enacting that decision, and there's an item on the agenda tonight that will update you on that matter.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I would like my comment, that there is a minute which states that we won't go ahead with the CCTV.
So have you got that minute?
No, well, Steve, I can get the minute.
You have to get the minute and then we can go and look at the minute from there then.
Right.
I'm not aware of any, but
No, you weren't, yeah.
Right, okay.
No, it's when we didn't know Claire.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, I'd like to propose that these minutes.
I've got another one.
I'll move.
Can I not raise my last one?
No, sorry, we need to go on now.
So I can't question the minutes.
I'll move the minutes.
Can't
Can we
question
have-
the
We've
minutes.
been questioning the
We've been
minutes for
questioning
20
quite a
minutes.
while
Can I
now.
continue questioning the minutes?
No.
No, we need to
I'm
move on
talking to
now.
Chair Terry, not you.
We need to move on now, Rob.
So I can't
Vote
question
on
the
moving
minutes,
on to the
Chair.
next item if you want
Yeah.
to do that.
Chair?
Can we have a vote on to move into next item?
Chairman, can you quickly question the minutes?
You've been questioning them now, Ross, for the last 15 minutes.
Can I question the minutes, Chair, yes or no?
We're going to
What
have
have
a
you
vote
got
on
left?
moving business.
Got one.
One last one.
Yeah.
Quickly then, please.
Thank you.
Last one.
Thank
That's
you.
it.
Isn't nonsense, Terry. Please.
Come on,
You do
carry on,
I'm
please.
asking
Carry on,
Terry
please.
to be quiet. I
No, you don't have to answer.
Excuse me.
Thank you. Point of order, please. Excuse me.
Just waiting.
Come on. Have order, please.
Thank you. Agenda item, sorry, everyone. 11-4 St John's Ambulance.
11 what?
11-4 St John's Ambulance.
What page?
Have a look.
9:15. Yeah, carry on.
Have we made a decision yet to purchase this deepin?
Yes, we made the decision at the last meeting.
Right then, there was no actual agenda item for purchasing a deepin.
It was on the agenda.
It was on the agenda.
And that's why we moved it to come
No, it was a grant application on the agenda, and an application to site it on the agenda. There was no agenda item for the council to buy a deepin. And yet we've made the decision to buy without an agenda item.
11
That was part of that.
It was moved by Councillor Austin and seconded by Councillor Compton that agenda item 11.3 and 11.4 are moved into confidential business.
Yeah? What are 11.3 and 11.4?
The defibrillator and the St John's Ambulance
So
vehicle.
11.3. 11.3 was the application to site it, so that's not it. And 11.4 was a request for a 137 grant to fund 2 defibrillators. That's not it.
Yes,
There is no agenda item to purchase a defibrillator by Clan Parish Council.
Yes, Councillor Compton.
There is. The item requested by St John's Ambulance was a Section 13 grant to fund 2 additional
137, sorry.
defibrillators.
137.
Yeah. And so we made a grant under Section 137, which we're able to do for the purchase of 2 defibrillators.
I don't actually think the council's allowed to...
Well, you might not.
well, it's set in...
You're at it now.
It's set in
You told me to
statute.
shut up till you finished talking.
No.
It's a Section
It's a
137
Section
grant.
So we're going to spend 137 on defibrillators. Yep.
We've made...
Whatever we decided.
Yeah.
Right, we
It's
did-
up to the
we
council.
We're going to spend 137 money on defibrillators. Yes? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that, in answer to your, it wasn't on the agenda, it obviously is.
No, I'm asking a question. Are we saying that we're going to spend
You're not asking
137?
me, you're asking the chair.
I'm not asking your statement. I'm
No,
asking
You don't ask me, you ask the
Are
chair.
we spending 137 on
This is querying the minutes. Now
Yes.
we're
Now we're
going
into-
into
we're
it.
going into
Can we
argument.
move business, please?
Yes,
This is,
no.
this is not what this is about. This is...
Exactly.
Councillor Pattison has moved, wants to move business, do I have a second? All in favour?
So I'm not being able to question.
No, thank you. Move to agenda 6. Oh,
You
we've got to
Hang on a minute,
minutes.
hang on a minute.
Can we-
Can we take that vote?
Can we take the vote to move minutes?
Because it's going by the pass and then we'll get this suggestion that we weren't allowed to vote.
Right, Councillor Pattison has moved the
Yeah, move to business.
Councillor,
Seconded by Councillor Payne.
Can I just say this?
all in
It
favour?
doesn't matter to me how long it takes to get these minutes right. Because these minutes will be looked at later on. We don't know what's going to happen in this parish council. And if the minutes aren't right, then they've got to be put right.
I'll say
Because unless they're right, we're all culpable. I'm not being culpable
That's not why
for
I'm...
passing off minutes that are incorrect.
they are.
A move next business does not need any discussion, but I mean, I'll let Eric finish. Yes, the minutes have to be accurate, but they are being agreed as accurate by the majority of the council.
Right, so it was, so all in favour?
Hold on a minute, what are we voting on now?
To move
move
to
business.
the next item of business.
So we're
Move next
moving that the
business.
minutes are correct. Have we done that yet?
No,
No.
move business.
No.
Well, hang on. I've got Councillor Connaughton moved and
Yeah.
Councillor Page
Councillor
seconded.
Patterson seconded and 2 against the minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can't pass
So-
the minutes
so they're
until
done.
the amendments have
And
been read out.
so we've moved business. All in favour of moving business? Thank you. All against? 3.
3 against.
Right, the proposed time and date of the next council meeting is Monday the 3rd of December at the Community Centre Recreation Close, starting at 6:30 for Parishioners Forum and 6:45 before the council.
I'd like to say that means then there's going to be no November meeting. So my suggestion to this is, if we have a November meeting on the 12th, that is 3 weeks' time. The December meeting on December the 10th, that is 4 weeks from that date, and then that brings it back into January, where on January the 7th you'll have 4 weeks from that date. So why can we not have a November meeting? We should be having a November meeting. We've got one in October. You're saying take the next one to December. I'm
It's only a
suggesting
month away.
Yeah.
5
5
weeks.
weeks. 5 weeks.
4 weeks, isn't it?
well, yeah,
No,
but
so what's...
Yes,
a week.
I don't wish to embarrass Councillor Walker in front of everybody.
No.
But I've got a note on my diary for the 3rd of December, and that's all I'll say.
No, all right, then.
So all in favour, can I have a vote please? All in favour of
What's the resolution?
the resolution?
What's the motion, sorry?
I'm asking
He's
for
asking for
a November the 12th meeting of this parish council, which will be in 3 weeks' time, and then
There won't be enough.
won't be enough business then, will there?
No, no.
For 3 weeks.
it
I'll second it.
doesn't matter if there's only one item of business as a parish council.
So you
we're
want
here to
it,
discuss
so you're moving a meeting on the 12th of November?
on the 12th of November.
Yeah.
That's 3 weeks from today.
Yeah.
And then the next one will be the 10th of December, which will take it 4 weeks on, and then it'll bring into January. Your next one will be 4 weeks on. So then we can get a November meeting in, whether there's one item or no item. It's the meeting of the parish council. The parishioners are here. They come to these meetings to see what we're discussing.
Right,
This
have-
way, we're not going to have one.
I'll second
Yeah.
that.
This way is on.
This,
Yeah, I think that'd be a good idea.
well, this was actually designed to get it back a lot sooner. Can we have a vote on that please?
Hang on.
Yep.
If that's an amendment, it negates the first motion. So it can't be an amendment, can it?
No.
Amendments can't negate the first motion. So this first motion says we're not having a meeting in November, the next meeting will be December 3rd. The amendment, so-called, says we are having a meeting in November, which negates the first motion, so it can't be accepted as an amendment.
Substantive motion?
No, it can't become a substantive motion.
Right.
There's
Can
one
I
on the
propose that
table.
we have a meeting in November, keep the one in December?
No, it's still the
You to
same, it's still
decide the frequency
negating.
of
No, it's
meetings.
an amendment, we still
You can change the dates and the cycle of meetings. You can change the date and the cycles of meetings. This is designed to to try and get us back onto that first Monday in every month. If you can recall, we had to defer the was it the September meeting? Can't remember which one it was because personal situation for me, and that's what's put it out of sync. This is designed to try and get it back
as soon as possible.
Through the chair, I agreed with Ross when he said last month that to get changing the meetings wasn't okay for him because they had to get childminders.
Yeah, and now they're changing.
And Ross were right in what he's saying. Keep changing them like this. I mean, if you change that one, I won't be able to get to the next one because I've got commitments as well.
This is designed to bring it back to first Monday.
We've got no meeting in November. We're going longer than 4 weeks for a council meeting. I think that's you can't.
You can't suspend standing orders and do it.
Yeah.
Use the resolution of the
Why
council.
can't we have one in November?
So I propose that this meeting stands that we carry on
I'll put an amendment.
and have it as designed by the clerk to get it back onto track by Monday the 3rd of December.
Can I put an amendment to that, please?
You've made the motion.
Yes.
You've got a seconder.
Have I got a seconder for that?
I'd like to put an amendment, please.
I'll
Is somebody
second it.
listening?
Oh, hang on, let's just do the substantive first then. So we've got Councillor Osprey moved, who seconded?
And I'll move the motion is now put.
I'll put my amendment in.
No, because there's no discussion on the move of the motion. There's now.
I asked before the motion was taken. So, can I put my amendment, Chair?
What's the amendment?
No.
No?
Talk to Chair, thank you. Chair.
This.
Chair.
It's not allowable.
Chair.
No.
Chair.
Right, Chair, it's not. I'll take my things from Steve.
Well, I'd need to check the rules on it. So you'll need to suspend the meeting while I take further advice, if that's what you want.
Yeah.
Just put your vote on it.
No, we'll just go to the vote.
I asked for an amendment.
This is
No, you got stamped
Ross,
all over.
you at the last meeting you said you wanted these back on track as soon as possible. Now we're looking
I said
at...
I was upset how they were moving about. I said anything about being
And now it's sort of
putting
like-
words in my mouth.
that it wasn't on track then. And it's not going to get on track now to at least be set to
Sorry, Terry?
January.
Terry, I'm talking to the Chair if you want. Can I point to order, please, Chair? Terry's talking all over me.
I think if you want, you can take the vote if
Excuse me.
You've got it recorded, haven't you?
Yeah.
I'll withdraw
So-
my motion is now put.
Right. So we'll have an amendment. So Ross wants an
What's the
amendment.
amendment then, Councillor Walker?
I'd like to put an extra meeting in the middle of November, whenever it's
Right.
suitable for anybody.
So is that the 12th of November that
Around
Councillor
about
Bailey?
12, but Jim said if you've got prior arrangements,
got a
I don't mind
second
moving
then?
it round.
We got a second on that. All in favour?
Hang on.
You'll go for your 12th if you want, that's fine.
Yeah?
If you want to, yeah.
Two in favour.
By all means.
So we're now two in
So I've
favour.
got Councillor, who moved it? Was it
Ross Walker.
Councillor Walker, Councillor
Bailey.
Bailey.
All
2-4.
on against?
Hang on a minute. Can I have that recorded, please?
What?
I need that vote.
Yeah, take
Yeah.
Ain't it recorded, mate?
Ask yourself.
Yeah. Anybody abstain? No.
So can I put it back that it stays at the same?
So there'll be no November meeting.
No.
The next one will be
So-
December 3.
Yeah. We'll have a vote on that.
No, you need
I'd put that forward. Do I have a seconder?
Yeah, you had a second, didn't you?
Yeah. All in favour? Thank you.
Anybody against?
Against? Sorry? Item 7 on the agenda, we've arranged the Joint Burial Committee meeting to be held on Monday, the 19th of November at 6 p.m.
Will this meeting go ahead? Because I'm sick of having 6 hours notice to say it's cancelled. It's not on. 6 hours is not long enough for me to arrange things, and it's
Not
not
long enough for
on.
anybody rushing around.
And that's last 3 meetings, 6 hours.
Well, I'm trying to do
We'll
is
go on to
to save
the
it.
Yeah, is my agenda item still standing for?
Yeah.
So I don't have to send it again.
item 8 on the
Hang on,
agenda.
we moved and seconded and approved.
Right. you will need to do this first one.
Just on item
I've
7.
got Councillor Weston here.
Just item 7. Just need to move and second.
I'll move it.
I think we need to move and second it.
Second for the burial bit. Yeah. All in favour? Yeah.
Anybody against? Anybody against?
Nobody against?
No.
Right, item 8 on the agenda, reports from Derbyshire County. We've had Councillor Anne Weston.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Just to report back that the request that came out some months ago to parishes and schools to see whether they would fund the school crossing patrol, the lollipop men and women, there's been a change of decision on that because I know this parish did offer to put some funding in, as did Barbara, but the majority of parishes and certainly the majority of schools didn't. So the County Council has changed their mind on that. I'm raising it because I just be alert to the fact that it's been a change of decision because I would hate for this parish who made that offer to be charged when everybody else is not. So I'm not suggesting they will, but I just need to make sure.
Yeah. Councillor Weston.
Okay, thank you. The other thing we're still waiting for is the feedback on the consultation to the changes to the libraries, and obviously that's important in Clown because it affects Clown Library. I'm told that that's going to come back to Cabinet within the next month, and we wait and see what happens with that. More local things.
Are we still thinking libraries may closer?
I'm not thinking anything because they're not reported back yet.
Is that what the report's about?
The report will be about the consultation that took place through the summer.
Right.
And there were meetings held in Clown Library, and there was a meeting at the junior school that you attended as well as me and a few others. So it's to report back on that, on what the council intends to do. So I've no idea what it's going to say, but just to say that it will be coming up in the next month is what I'm told. On local things, the traffic lights on Hollymill on the railway bridge, I'm told, I've been chasing this up again, I'm told that it's a refurbishment of the electronics and that all the electrical work should be finished by Thursday of this week, so fingers crossed. Yeah. And I have sent an email through, I was asked a question earlier on about whether the Pegasus crossing for horse riders, whether that will be reinstalled, and I'm pretty sure it will, but I've sent an email to ask that anyway. And just to clarify the situation on Border Lane, because it's on the agenda later on, there was a request quite a while ago now to confirm the status of Border Lane and to confirm it as a bridle way. It's a very complicated legal process about establishing the status of a route to put it on the definitive map, which is where public rights of way, public highways, bridleways all get recorded. And it's about looking back at the history, at the historical records. It's not about determining what you want it to be, it's about what the history shows it is and what it has been. And they've gone back through all the parish maps and the old historical records, and they've found, the legal people have found, that there is clear evidence that it's been used by different types of traffic, not just walkers and riders. Now, that's the problem with this process, is that once it's like opening a can of worms and you don't know what you're going to find till they've delved back through all the records. So, but it's not a change of status, so I just want to be clear about that. It's changing and this might sound a bit pedantic, but it's important. It's changing the definitive map to record the status of that route. It's not changing the status of that route, it's just recording what historically it has been. And just to be clear, because I know people are coming forward with suggestions that means it's going to be tarmacked and all the rest of it. It isn't. There's no commitment at all and no intention, as far as I know, for any work to be done on the surface of the road. It will remain as it is. But it will be on the definitive map as a byway open to all traffic, which is what the record shows. So I just wanted to be clear about that, because it is very complicated, which is why it's taken best part of 2 years to get through it all.
Right.
Thank you.
And have you put that down what I brought up to you?
Yeah.
That one down?
Yeah.
And what's going on for the railway track?
Just Can I just report back on the railway?
Yeah.
So, I think I already said, didn't I, a couple of months ago, that the funding had come, the European funding had come through, which we're very grateful for. The work's been out for tender, and that tender's been let now, so the work should be starting imminently to get on with it, and you should see some bigger, faster progress now because that contract has been let.
I've got 2 items for the County Council, please. Could you inform me and the Council the status of this winter's salt, what you've got in Derbyshire County Council? Is it well up to stock for what we had this year, or it hasn't been cut back or anything? Will they? I know we can't say what sort of winter we're going to have, but if we have a severe winter, have we got plenty of salt in stock?
I'm told, and there's been a press release about it, that they are fully stocked at the moment. They've stocked up now. They've got a full stock of salt and grit, as they would at the start of any winter. I think the issue is about how severe the winter is and how quickly they get through it. What I do know is that there are going to be cuts to that budget that weren't anticipated. The Council's financial position has got worse. There was a report that came to Cabinet in September that showed that for the next 5 years the amount of cuts to the budgets has gone up from 53 million to 70 million. So those cuts have got to fall somewhere, and as regards that department's budget, that's one of the places it will fall, sadly. Now, I'm not in control of that at all now, as you know. I'm just reporting you the facts as they are. So as it stands, there's enough salt there for the start of the winter, the same as there would be for any other previous winter. But the other costs, like the amount of staffing they've got to get the gritters out, the amount of contractors they'll pay for, it's all got to come out of this shrinking budget.
Fine, thank you. And my second one is, could you inform me how I could go about having a speed limit changed, or trying to get a speed limit changed? It's been suggested before. If you start going up Picking Wood Lane towards the play area, you're travelling at 30 mile an hour. You get to the junction, and suddenly between there and the play area and the allotments, you can do 60 mile an hour. How, thank you. Who can I talk to, and how can we go about changing that speed limit? Because surely you should have the lower speed limit in the second part, where you've got a children's play area, allotments and whatnot, and in the first piece, which is wide open, everybody can see cars coming, you've got a lower speed limit. So how can I, or this parish, go about having them speed limits reduced? It's been tried in the past by Councillor Smith, it was years ago, and I'm just asking for advice.
Yeah, we've talked about this before, I think, several times. As far as I'm aware, there are national stronger than guidelines, national rules about the types of speed limits on certain types of road. Now, if you want to put that in writing as a formal request for another review, we can take that through to the Highways Department for a review, but they will come back and they will have to stick to whatever those national rules are, because they're the laws of the land. So, and I can't quote you what they are at the moment, because off the top I can't remember what they are, but it's something to do with the nature of the built-up area, it's to do with street lights and stuff like that, and what counts as urban and what counts as rural. But if you write a letter about it, Alan, or if the parish want to do that, and then you'll be able to get the proper chapter and verse about what the regulations are. And whether anything can be done on that. I mean, I agree with what you're saying. I absolutely sympathise with you, but you can only do what the law allows you to do.
Yeah, but my point to that is, how much is a child's life worth then?
I get you. That's why I'm sympathising with you.
Yes,
if it can't be done, it can't be done.
I'll go through the parish and the clerk, and I'll go through it the way you told me. That's why I'm asking your advice. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Weston.
Is that all? Because I've got, and I didn't want to spoil anybody else's time. I was approached by somebody down on the Church Lane estate, and the humps, they removed one, but it still looks like a hump because it's still black. But the other one that's still black is still a hump. So they've said that what they're getting now is people tearing down that road and then hitting the one that's still a hump, having passed over the one that looks like a hump but isn't. So they're saying that it may need a sort of move to speed restriction on there, because they're getting a lot of people driving at speed. Now, I haven't witnessed it myself, but I think the council, the county council perhaps needs to put some sort of sensor on there to see what's happening.
Yeah, so the council didn't cover itself with glory with that job, the way it was done, and I complained as loud as anybody. To leave it like they did over the weekend was appalling. There weren't enough bollards out to warn people, there weren't enough signs, and it was left in a terrible state. And I have made that known. Now, there's a dispute going on about whether they've taken away the ones that they said they would. On the plan that I've got, they have taken away the ones they said they would. One of them, they've taken it away so well that it's actually a hollow instead of flat, but you know, so I'm on that as well. But I do think we need to monitor the speed. I mean, speed humps are Marmite, aren't they? Some people love them, some people hate them. So what we tried to get to was a compromise that we would try and reduce the number, certainly on Church Street, Church Lane. But there's still one or two issues, like you say, so I will ask about putting...
I'm going to say, I'm not suggesting a result or a solution, but I think perhaps if people see that we are testing the speeds on there, at least they'll know we're looking at it.
Yeah.
Could you have a word with them about the road markings on Booton Lane? The bottom of Booton Lane is virtually disappeared. And the speed humps, the arrows have about disappeared. So they need to be back here in the village, marking things up. They did the spotting the road and down Mill Street, but then cleared off. But Booton Lane is getting really bad, especially at the bottom, opposite where they come out from the arc. You can hardly see the road markings now.
Right, okay, thank you, I'll report that.
Thank you, Councillor Weston. The next report is from Derbyshire Police. We did have a minute to ask the police if they could attend the meetings. We've had a letter back from them stating that it's a county thing, and there is 8 parish councils within the county, and it's been a decision from the PCC that the funding for officers to attend these meetings isn't possible from the cutbacks, and the officers have got a lot more to do, and their time is spent with doing the crime and criminal disorder and antisocial behaviour within the communities. So they haven't got the time to spend unless it's something that's really serious, and then they will come to the meeting. Apart from that, I'm afraid we can't get any. They'll not routinely come to the meetings. Crime figures for last month: we have arson 1, criminal damage 4, miscellaneous crimes against society 2, public disorder 1, sexual offence 3, other theft 4, dwelling, burglary dwelling and non-dwelling 4, shoplifting 2, vehicle theft 3, theft from a person 3, theft of a motor vehicle 3, vehicle interference 2, stalking and harassment 4, violence with injury is 7, violence without injury 4.
Wow.
Quite a lot for this month.
It is.
September's in
Quiet little village.
September's in figures through into October. Yes, Councillor.
Can this parish or the clerk get in touch with the police and ask them to elaborate on some of them things? You've just mentioned sexual offences 3. They've just said sexual offence. We cannot ask them.
They won't. They won't.
No,
it's,
seems to me that the lists are getting longer, and therefore that proves beyond any shadow of a doubt that the only policeman which is
Cardwell comes out at Tesco's, isn't doing his job very well.
Well, photocopy, Mary.
We also suffer, police services also suffering from current government cuts, aren't they? Same as a lot of other organisations, so you have to prioritise. Unfortunately, I'm not saying that excuses it, but...
Can we carry on? We've got a report from Bolesworth District Council. The next edition of the In Touch newspaper will be distributed week commencing 29th of October. And the wanting us to help.
No, well, there's two aspects. There's the Parish Gazette, there's the In Touch, which is the District Council's own newspaper, which is coming out on the 29th of October. But supplementing that is the Parish Gazette, which covers Clown, Whitwall and Balborough for this area. It's a smaller publication, but it's more focused on local stuff within those three parishes. That next edition is the 19th of November, and I'll be obviously submitting articles and some of the decisions that the council has made that's, you know, that people will want to know about to that next edition.
And then we've got our sports.
Well, update on CCTV, you know, some of the events that we've done, yeah, some of the grants that we've given.
Do we actually contribute financially to that?
No.
No, so
Our sports
Chair.
splash.
Does it not include Creswell as well?
It does.
It does.
Yes.
Yeah. Because you missed that.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cresswell, Whitwell, Clown and all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
So the Splash Holiday Scheme at Go Active takes place for the children between the 29th of October and the 2nd of November. For the children aged between 6 and 13, and places must be pre-booked via reception. That's that, thank you. Item 9 on the agenda, Chair's report. Mining Memorial Station Road, official opening of the recently completed Mining Memorial by Clown Local History Society is to take place on Saturday at 11:30. And Councillor Page has kindly agreed to represent the Parish Council. It would have been myself, but things have cropped up and I'm not available, I'm afraid. Sorry.
Which Saturday was that?
This Saturday, yeah,
This Saturday.
27.
The Welcome Home Tea Dance. This was attended by 50 parishioners from a number of local care homes, and the room was set out with Union Jackson Bunting and Paula Marie, the vintage vocalist, attended. It was a fantastic day, and everyone who came really enjoyed it, and the people from the old people's homes, well, they had a really good afternoon.
Yeah, it was a great event. First one.
Bolesworth Festival of Brass, that was on the 30th of September at Heritage High. There was 51 bands comprising of 2,160 musicians competing. It was a contest, highest ever entry in its 13-year history. Total tickets sold were 485. The contest was recorded around the world. In excess of 23,000 people watched it from around 42 different countries. It's had positive reviews in the Brass Band World magazine and a number of other publications. They said they were very grateful for the support from Bolesworth District Council for the use of their car park on the day, and school parking facilities were full by 9:30.
We're not thanked us.
And yet,
Yeah,
they have on a really very long email from Carol thanking us for our support, and also to Shirebrook and Elton with Cresswell, and hoping that we can support them again for next year. The War Memorial on Mill Street, Ramsey Memorials of Chesterfield have now installed the lettering MM on the War Memorial as agreed by the Parish Council. In addition, I would like to thank all those parishioners that have also knitted poppies for the Remembrance Day. There but not there, I would like to give a big thank you to the 4 district councillors of Clown, who painstakingly, along with Bolsover District Council, has managed to raise funding to install the Tommies, which is the sculptures that you see around the parish. They look fantastic and a vivid reminder of the sacrifice made during World War I. So I'd like to thank very much the councillors and also Bolsover District Council for providing the funds to buy these Tommies. Poppies for lamp posts. In addition to last year, the parish council purchased large poppies to erect on lamp posts in and around Mill Street. I would like to ask the council, if possible, that we'd like to purchase additional poppies for the centenary year. It would be quite fitting if we were to erect a poppy for every parishioner who is named on the memorial, which I believe is in total 96. The cost would be around about £450 for the poppies.
I'll propose it. Done, Chair, if you're proposing it.
Yeah. Okay, all in favour of that? Thank you. Thank you very much.
No one will be going up.
Within a week, I would hope.
I'll order them.
Yeah.
You've agreed it. I'll get them ordered.
The only thing I've spoke to British Legion today from Christine, and she's running late.
Is she?
Oh.
Right, I'll speak
Yeah,
to her
let's
then.
speak.
Yeah. Councillor Smith.
Right, final preparations have been put in place for this year's Centenary Remembrance Day service and parade. The church service is taking place from 9:30 at St John's the Baptist Church, and the parade will leave the Salvation Army Centre at 10:30, with the act of remembrance from 10:45 at the War Memorial on Mill Street.
Grant, just one quick. You've got the existing soldiers who are parade march. They were struggling last year and struggling this year.
Yeah.
Is there any way we could provide? There's not many of them. Is there any way we could provide a taxi from a minibus to bring them from church down to Salvation Army instead of them trying to make their way there or getting lifts there? If we could try and show a bit of support, what's up?
Can we leave that with Steve to contact them?
Can we propose in a second and then we can get underway if we can sort it out?
Well,
I don't think we can propose and second.
No, well, I would thought you'd have to really just leave it with Steve to have a look into it.
I mean, I don't know how many there is.
No.
And because I don't know how many there is, I don't know what the cost would be, and therefore.
No.
But if there's, if there's a general feeling of support from around the council, then I can look into it.
Yeah.
Well, can we see that?
Yeah.
Because we don't even know what sort of transport there would be.
No, whether it be disability friendly transport or
not.
What an excuse. What a bloody excuse.